Okay, we are live. Hopefully issues have been resolved, but obviously it's going to take a few minutes for people to jump in because I've not left any sort of... Okay, this is going to take a while because I've not left any sort of... People don't know I'm here, basically. I don't even know how to... I don't even know how to like sort of send a link. So I'm just going to be speaking into the ether. Oh shit, what am I supposed to do now? I could share, I suppose. I don't know what to do. Okay, so yeah, Big T, so you're in the chat. Um, I don't really know how I'm supposed to put the word out. Because people who would... I was going to send this through Twitter, but obviously I've had to reboot the whole thing, so I don't know whether... How do I share this through Twitter? Oh, Jamie's on board. That's Jamie. Oh, okay, so okay, it's not as big as a disaster as I thought it was. People seem to be jumping on now. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the opening street, the beginning 5 minutes. I was just getting massive feedback, and I have no idea why. It's the same. I've set up the same way I've always done, and it just went completely tits up. But as I say, I did put the link out on Twitter, and obviously that link is now obsolete. So anybody who's trying to get through on Twitter is not going to be able to get through because I've really no idea how I'm gonna... I don't know how I'm gonna... is it too late to share it on Twitter now? I don't think. I don't know. I have no idea. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a fairly short stream anyway. And obviously, look, I know Lorne is doing a live stream at 1 a.m., 8 p.m. I think Eastern. So it was never going to be an overly long stream anyway, and it's already like 12 in the UK. So, and you know what? I haven't even prepped this stream in the slightest. It's just I'm winging it. Is that even a... did you say that in America? Is that just a UK thing, winging it? We just like, try and do things on the fly, which is another thing. That's got to be an American saying, on the fly. So I've not really... Oh, Dan, nice one, man. Yeah, thanks, bud. Jamie, yeah, I think there was Jamie, there's always a tech issue because I'm using a 7-year-old laptop. I mean, I've got Ethernet going into the laptop, so I've got like a good internet signal, but it's an old laptop, so... and it's not like a desktop. It's not like a powerful computer, so it's always a bit like hit and miss. But 9 times out of 10, usually when I go live, it's always like on point. But for some reason tonight, I don't know, it was just getting massive feedback. So yeah, it's not a big issue. So yeah, the only issue was obviously the link for Twitter was gone, but obviously Dan's worked his magic. So hopefully anyone who missed it will jump on. Yeah, so yeah, it's not really... I say winging it, but I'm a weirdo. No, I say winging it. I say winging it. I think that's just something that it's probably an American thing, but we've probably taken on board in the UK because we do take a lot on board from the States, you know. Um, but yeah, this is just basically just... it's just like it's a quick stream. I know, as I said, as I've already said, I wasn't even going to stream tonight because I streamed last Tuesday, and then obviously we did the Friday part 6 stream, and that's done really well. I was so pleased with the views. It's had like... this sounds good. This is going to sound silly to like... no, not to you guys, but it would sound silly to like big YouTubers, but that stream's done like nearly 80 views in like, a few days, and that's a big deal for like me, because obviously my channel's got like 66. No, it's like 68 subs now, but it's done like, close to 80 views in like a few days. And obviously the Friday the 13th, I don't know if that, I don't know how algorithms work with YouTube. I don't know if that's just purely subs watching or people just clicking on and then just clicking out, but it's definitely a decent number for me, to get nearly 80 views in a few days for a channel with 66 or 67 or 68 subs is good. And yeah, that was a really enjoyable live stream. Shout out to Lorne and obviously to Griff and Chris for jumping on that one. I mean, I don't really understand how YouTube works. It's such a strange the whole algorithm situation, because I've been on live streams on YouTube channels. I mean, there's a guy I follow on YouTube. I don't really follow him per se, but he's someone I occasionally watch, and he doesn't live stream very often. And he's got like 9,000 subs, and he was doing a live stream on Friday the 13th. And he like in his live chat, he had like 7 people, and I couldn't get my head. My head wasn't couldn't get my head around what I was saying. It was like, and this is no way like bigging up my channel, because my channel's tiny, but I could only put it down to like a loyalty, a strong sort of like fan base, a strong community around where we are, because the fact that the guy had like 8,000 subs and he only had like 8 or 9 people watching, and this was like an hour into the stream. This was like the beginning of the stream. He'd been streaming for like an hour. The fact that he only had like 8 or 9 people watching just blew my mind. I was like, how can you have 8,000 subscribers and only have that many people watching your stream? I just couldn't get my head around it. And I just thought, for start, there's a massive, with YouTube, there's a massive, disparage. Is disparage the right word between? For start, I mean, with YouTube, forget subscribers. It's about numbers. It's about who's watching. I mean, in terms of like subscribers, obviously PewDiePie is like the biggest individual YouTuber on YouTube, but Mr. Beast has got less subscribers and he's catching up quickly. But he's the biggest guy on YouTube. I mean, his views are just insane compared to PewDiePie's. PewDiePie is big, but he acquired his subs over a long period of time. Mr. Beast has been acquiring his over a shorter period, and Mr. Beast is just killing it with the views. So subs is a big deal, but views is more important. I mean, we've all got even with a tiny channel, I'm obviously aware that the vast majority of the people who subscribe to my channel don't actually watch. They probably subscribe and then never watch again. I'm subscribed to about like 150 YouTube channels. I barely watch any of them. I'm just too lazy to unsubscribe. So it's one of those things you've got to like. For me, it's like, if you are like a bigger YouTuber, it's stay loyal to who your true fans are. Keep lots of contact. Always reply in the comments. I mean, I think that's very important. It's time consuming. Not that I know, because I don't have to do this, but I can only imagine if you're a bigger YouTuber, if you take the time to go in the comments and react and reply to all the comments, you keep those people on board and they will come back to your channel. If you don't ever reply or even acknowledge them, they'll just move on, and they may never unsubscribe to you, but they've gone and you'll never even know who those people are. So I would say, in my opinion, it's easier said than done. But I would say, if you are a bigger YouTuber, always, especially with if you recognize people from the olden days, people who've been with you since day one, just stick with it. And I probably wouldn't even get onto the point of what I was going to make tonight, you know, like which is discussing Firestarter, Morbius, and they them, because obviously I am going to jump off just before 1 o'clock. Bunny's in the chat. What's up, Bunny? Nice to see you on board, man. If I not acknowledged anyone else, I think I did. I think Ben, obviously Dan, I think I did acknowledge everyone else anyway. But what I would say is, you know, before I do, if I ever actually get onto the subject tonight, is like, it's the great thing about like a smaller community, and the thing I love about like the horror community is, you know, it's being able to jump in the chat of a live stream or a random video, make a comment and get a reply back. And the difficult thing is obviously when you get past a certain amount of subscribers, it gets more and more difficult. Obviously, you can't. I wouldn't expect if I was to reply to like comment on a video by PewDiePie or Mr. Beast or even someone with like just 500,000 subscribers, I wouldn't expect a reply because the comments are constantly coming in and it's ridiculous. But the smaller the fan base, the smaller the community, it's a blessing and a curse in a way, I suppose, because it's not. I wouldn't say it's a curse, but if you obviously are trying to if you are trying to make something out of YouTube, and you obviously want to become a bigger YouTuber, and you want to like maybe make a living from it, the only way to make a living is to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Which I mean, I'm never ever going to try and do that because my content is just like shitty camera talking shit into a camera once every week. But I like that because I know my limits and I never ever want to go beyond that. But if you were somebody who like had the equipment and the technology and the charisma and all that and you wanted to go forward and do something bigger and better, it's obviously the bigger and better you go, the more subscribers you get, the more disconnected you get from the original fan base, the less time you have to like sort of interact with that original fan base. That is an issue, and it's obviously that's the sort of thing where how do you decide where to sort of like draw the line? I mean, like clearly there's a point where if you do get too big, you're gonna have to like cut off at some point and go like, I just can't do this anymore. The bigger I get, I cannot acknowledge every comment, every interaction on the channel, and I've just got to distance myself. I can imagine that'd be quite a tough decision for a lot of these bigger YouTubers. I'd be curious to see what their reaction to that would be, because I kind of feel like YouTube is like, it's a platform that's over the last 15 years we've all like lived with, interacted with, and as it's got bigger and bigger and bigger, we've all kind of grown to like love and hate in equal measure. But it's, for me, YouTube is like, it's something that it needs like a massive, almost like documentary about the characters. It would need to be like, a 4, 5, 6-parter, just charting the history of YouTube, which no one's ever really done. YouTube is this massive cultural impact. Yeah, I've never ever seen like a documentary about YouTube as a whole, the impact it's had on society in the last 15 years, which is basically what it is now. It's 15 years. We're talking about a massive cultural impact on an entire not a lifespan of humanity. But if you think back to like, I think as we get older, 15 years doesn't seem as long a time as what it is when we were younger. So if you look back, say, let's imagine YouTube started in like 1980, and then we went through to 95. That would seem like a massive cultural impact on a time and place. Yet this happened in 2006, 2007. We're now in 2022, I've not seen any sort of big documentary, big, just a movie. We've had a movie about fucking Facebook, for Christ's sake, social network, which is 12 years ago. I would love to see a kind of like movie about YouTube, and just whether they would be able to, a fictional. I would love to see a fictional movie about YouTube in the way of social network, with just the impact it's had on the players involved and the cultural impact of the website. Maybe they wouldn't be allowed to do that. I don't know, but it just seems strange to me that we haven't even addressed the fact that like one of the biggest websites in the history of the planet in the last 15 years has not really had any sort of like, big sort of like film or documentary. Not to my knowledge anyway. If there has been, it's totally missed me, which I just think it's bizarre. Go back to the chat. You know what? This is probably just going to be a chat, me talking shit for like an hour. I probably wouldn't even get to the talking points because I just gone off on a random. Talk about that. Ben says, I just had the Mr. Beast burger the other day. Pretty good. YouTuber, yeah, he's a good guy, Mr. Beast, by the looks of it. I think we're getting him in the UK now as well. He just seems like a really good guy, If someone's going to overtake PewDiePie, let it be, because PewDiePie's a fucking good guy, He's such a like honest, genuine person, in my opinion. And Mr. Beast seems like a similar sort of person. 2 seconds. Sorry. Did you see like a really like strange person looking into the camera? That's my wife. Ignore her. Oh my god. See, that's why I'm not a big YouTuber, because like someone comes down to make cereal, Weetabix, shredded wheat, whatever they want to call it, and then look into the fucking camera. I apologize. Oh my fucking days, man. Big T, yeah, don't like yeah, Jamie, that's my wife. She doesn't understand the internet. She doesn't understand what I do. She just thinks I just like I think she thinks I'm insane. I think she thinks I just get on and talk into a void and nobody replies. So when she comes to yeah, yeah. yeah, yeah, definitely, Chris. So when she comes down and she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're weird. I'm like, and when I try to explain to her, like what, I mean, she's not that old. She's older than me. She's like 50, but she's not like totally senile when it comes to like technology. But the idea of like putting a camera on and talking to a camera and talking to people on the other side of the world, that's just like totally beyond their logic. She's just like, no, no, no. Just, so I ushered her back upstairs. I put Amazon Prime on for her and I put a girly flick on for her and she's happy. She's happy. And there's my notification for Lorne's live stream in half an hour. That's why, hence why I'm doing like a short live stream. So I can get in the chat there as well. It's like Ghostbusters. I don't cross the streams. Don't cross the streams. That's the most polite way of saying wife is old. She's old. Well, she's old. She's old in reference to like someone who's 25. I mean, I'm 45, so she's not that old. James said that was adorable. I loved it. She'd be horrified if she knew that she was on this live stream. She'd be horrified. She thinks she's just looking into a blank computer. She's just, bless. She doesn't know. I think we just thought Mrs. Blake. Yeah, absolutely. I've totally missed some of the. Hang on. Dan's talking about UFOs, and I've missed that conversation. So let me go back to that. Right. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Daniel, I never thought in a million years our own government would actually admit to the possibility of there being extraterrestrial life. It makes you just wonder what else is out there. Okay, here's my thought on this, Big T. And I've always been a big advocate for like, UFOs and like life on other. I mean, I ought to absolutely believe that obviously there's life on other planets and intelligent life out there in the universe. The universe is just way too massive. My issue is if the government is starting to all of a sudden release all this stuff about UFOs and like I know there's like the whole there was in it like 2004 or 2006, US they were on a boat and there's guys in the sky flying planes and they saw, lights in the sky and they were flying past them and they're doing all this crazy stuff. That stuff got so much press, and this is obviously getting a lot of press now. I always question why this is getting so much attention. So my opinion on this is obviously there's life on other planets. Obviously there's intelligent life on other planets. But when I see shit going on Earth, I have to question whether it's just something we've got, well, a certain government has got, and they just don't want to admit it. And so they just try and cover it up and pretend it's aliens. And that's why they suddenly start pushing this idea that, oh, look at these unidentified flying objects. This is crazy. This is insane. So I do question like when the government tries to promote something like this. I just think that that's a bit strange. Because I do like I mean I do have an issue with the idea that we have been visited by aliens. And I am the biggest fan of the idea of alien. I love the idea. I hope it's true. I hope we have been, but I don't know whether we have or not. I really don't. I just think there's so much shit goes on with, governments and stuff where they try and push. If they're trying to push this idea that maybe this has gone on, I've got to seriously question what their motives are. So I hope we have, but spectacular. Well, what's that saying? Incredible claims, and it's something like incredible claims need incredible evidence. It basically says that if you're going to make a statement like crazy statements like aliens are real, you need to back it up with like crazy proof. But I hope it is true. I mean, I'm not some sort of person who denies alien existence. Obviously, freaking hell, it wouldn't surprise me if there's aliens in our own solar system, just as non-intelligent or not to our level life forms like on other planets, and certainly outside the solar system. Obviously, there's going to be life forms far more intelligent than we are. But so just going back to the chat. Chris says, I feel I've clicked off it. Hello, Chris says, I feel like for them to be reading UFO implies wolf and soon anyway. Well, that's yeah. I've been down a few rabbit holes with that scenario as well. Online, where it's like it's not the new COVID. Where it's like alien invasion. Everyone's got to lock up, and I think it's a bit far fetched what I just said with the whole alien invasion. It's like the new COVID, but somewhere down the line, who knows? They're hiding in Philly. I do know an alien in Philadelphia who's quite a dangerous individual. Wave sighting is like Bigfoot ain't rare but real. Damn if you're dating yours, literally. I can't believe Big T even got over really much. So okay, I've got like 25 minutes. Okay, I'm not going to cover all topics. I'm just going to cover what do I cover? Like, do I cover they, them, Morbius, or Firestarter? Because I've got like 20 minutes. Do I cover like Firestarter and its disastrous opening weekend, Morbius, or they, them? I could just cover it all really quickly. I don't know. Firestarter. I don't even want to talk about Firestarter. What is the point of that film? Was Firestarter? Yeah, Firestarter's too much time on. Bunny Army, but Bunny says Firestarter as well. I know Ben doesn't want to cover Firestarter. Bunny did ask for it, and there's plenty of time to talk about they, them. They, them deserves I think a longer period. Oh, Anthony's in the chat. What's up, man? Anything Stephen King will watch. Have you seen Firestarter, Anthony? The new one? Obviously not the remake. I mean not the original. I'm assuming you've already seen. Again, yeah, I'll probably get into they, them next week, because that's something that probably deserves something to spend longer on, because there's no real information at the moment. Hopefully a bit more comes out within the next week or two. But Firestarter obviously opened in theaters. Griffin says, please Mike, tell me you didn't pay it. No, I didn't. No, Griff. I watched it online completely legitimately, and in no way did I illegally watch this movie, Griffin. Absolutely. I got Peacock TV, which I don't even know how to get, but I somehow did get Peacock TV, even though I don't know how to get Peacock TV, and watched the movie completely legitimately, because it's a fantastic movie that deserves to be paid for. No. I just, yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, the film's a piece of shit. Didn't watch it legally. Watched it illegally. My bad. Would not do that to a film I really love. But come on, this film. At the end of the day, if I love this film, I watched it illegally. Okay, hands up. If I love the film, sometime down the road, I would make a point of buying it legally. But like, who the hell is watching this movie? Like, seriously, who's watching this movie in the cinemas? What is this Peacock deal with movies where they are putting it out on as a cinema release and then dropping it on Peacock the same day? Because we can't even access Peacock in the UK unless you. I'll be perfectly honest. If Peacock was readily available in the UK, I would have watched it. I maybe, I would have like gone through the right legislation, whatever you want to call it, and paid the money to watch the film. I can't get Peacock. Apart from, like, from my knowledge, through one app, which I don't own, Sky TV, which I'm already subscribed to Amazon Prime, and I also jump in and out of Shudder. So I'm not paying for another streaming service to watch this piece of shit. So I'm sorry, but illegal streams do exist, and people are going to watch them. And I watched Firestarter on an illegal stream. Yeah, and that's all it is worthy of, because it's a dog shit film. I'm certainly not going to pay £11.99 to go and watch it in the cinema, which is like, half of a tank of petrol for me, which is like ridiculous in itself. I mean, and the film is really, really bad as well. And I suppose the point I was going to try and bring up with this movie is, why on earth is this film even exist in the first place? Is this some sort of? I mean, I don't know. Dan might know. Law might know. Is this some sort of like weird way of people holding rights to Stephen King material? Because it doesn't seem to play any purpose in any sort of. I don't know why the film exists. It's a bad film. It's not going to make any money on the cinema. It's going to lose money for whoever funded it. I think the film cost $11 million to make, and it's made $6 million back. So it's not even like done half of what it cost to make. I don't really know why this film exists. It was a bog standard Stephen King original movie in the 80s. It wasn't a great Stephen King cash in then. So what on earth is this film doing even? Why is this film on my cinema? Like, why is this film even there? And why are they releasing it 1 week after Doctor Strange 2, when clearly that movie is going to do all the business? Ideas, anyone? I'm just clueless. Okay, I'm clueless. I don't know how cinema works. I don't know how box office works. All I do is watch movies, consume them, and give an opinion. So when it comes to the ins and outs of movies, I am totally lost. So if somebody can please explain to me why Firestarter was ever released on the cinema in the first place, when it was releasing on Peacock on the day of release, how are they making money from that? Over to you guys, because I have no idea. That's my job. I ask the questions and then I hand it over to you guys, because fuck me, man, I have no idea. Going back to the chat. Jamie's 49, a couple of weeks. Be careful. I'm not. Yeah, you must be Lorne's age then. I think you and Lorne have got a lot in common, because you guys are kind of like from the same neck of the woods, I would say. America's going by neck of the woods. I'm talking about by US standards, probably still like hundreds of miles apart. But I think You're from New York, right? New York State, and Lawrence from New Jersey, so you're not that far apart, and you're both similar age. Yeah. Bunny says, like, yeah. Oh, that's still relating to the wife making making an appearance. Big T says, "Do you think we're in for an alien war, or are they going to help our planet?" Alien war, but it won't be. It won't be real aliens. I think it'll be man-made, but it's a long way away. I think. If that technology come in to find Las Vegas, it would be a short. Definitely, it would be a very, very short war. Tic Tac war coming. Dan says, of course, we need to behave like us. I mean, that's the one thing with Alien. You know, why would they be remotely like us in any way, shape, or form? It would just, we couldn't even understand. It'd be so advanced, it would just be laughable. My question would be, are they more intelligent, or did they just get a better start? Well, probably more intelligent. Looking at us, I mean, it wouldn't be hard, would it? Like, we can barely get off the planet, so you'd have to say more intelligent. I mean, if we were that intelligent, why are we waging wars in every country on the planet almost? It's just like, we're not that intelligent, are we? Just still going through the comments. Someone in FedEx their anal probes. I don't know who you could possibly be referencing there, Ben. No idea. I'm just like so far behind on the chat. I've just realised I actually watched the chat from like 10 minutes ago. I do apologise. Chris says it's kind of a superhero origin movie. Andrew, that you know what? It's like he's hinting at. Well, I don't know if it's the director or like the company. They're hinting at Firestarter 2. I'm like if Bloomhouse have got the rights to Firestarter now if Bloomhouse got the rights to Brightburn, again another question for you guys because I've got no idea. Dan will probably know this. Because if Bloomhouse have got the rights to Firestarter, and this is going to be a contentious issue regarding like legal stuff, but if the people have the rights to Brightburn, there is a potential for like a universe of like kids with like superpowers, and Brightburn was going down that route in the original film. There were hints that there was going to be somebody else with that sort of power or a similar sort of power. So if you could bring in like Stephen King's universe into that, that would be something interesting. I'd be down to see that, but I don't know whether that would even be legally possible. I have no idea. But Brightburn was definitely something that was interesting. It was a good film. It wasn't an amazing film, but it was something that I thought there was potential there to move something on in terms of like a darker, younger MCU kind of thing where you've got like genuinely evil characters who do like real evil things, but then also have bring in obviously the opposite, and bring in like something similar to like a movie like Brightburn where you do bring in like a young kid who's like a boy or a girl, whatever, who is kind of got that like superhero special ability. And how if you could bring in like a Stephen King universe into that with Firestarter, that'd be something that'd be really interesting to see. Ben said I'd feared 6 to cancel the Peacock. Yeah, I say Peacock is just something that we don't really. I don't think anybody in the UK even knows what Peacock is. I think it is available if you subscribe to like one type of streaming service, but nobody knows what the hell Peacock is in the UK. Get that? His VPN. Okay. Jamie says I had some level of made for TV movie. Yeah, that's about it. Ben says they show secret monsters at the end. There's a couple of really dark scenes in Brightburn. You know, I think I said this on a previous stream of Piz. You know, the glass through the eye is just like you know, and the, you know, the broken jaw when he's just on the floor, like really, really dark shit. And I was like, this is quite dark for like a, which I think the movie was. It was okay. It was a 15 in the UK, I think, not like a PG fit. I think it's PG 13 and 15 and 12A in the UK are kind of like a similar thing, but it was quite dark for like what I was expecting. Um, those two scenes anyway, and you know, he was just like a little. The kid was like a little shit in that film, a really unlikable character. And you know, it would be good to go back to that franchise and just bring something new in. I mean, couldn't you bring in like the what was that movie? What was the found footage movie from about like 9, 10 years ago where the kids just get these like magical powers and they can just move stuff with their hands and they can fly? Bring that into that universe. What was that film? I'm sure someone in the chat will know. Um, three boys like 18 years old, 17 years old, and they just develop magical powers and what that they film everything. It's like a found footage film. Bring that into like a Brightburn universe. Bring Chronicle. Yeah, that's it, Ben. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, Chronicle was a fucking great film, man. Yeah. James says as well, Chronicle. That was a great movie. I really enjoyed that, and they were like, you know, that was okay. It was found footage as well, but it kind of mixed found footage with like you know that sort of superhero elements. And I mean, I don't know who owns the rights to that. That was something that could have gone on for me. You could go more with Brightburn. You could go more with this Stephen King, you know, fire starts of shit going on. I mean, I like I say, I don't know. I don't understand rights. I don't understand how it works. How you buy rights, how you sell rights, how you mix them all together. But like I say, I'm just a fan who likes shit and who would like to see stuff happen. And yeah, Dan says watch it. Yeah, I am planning on watching Hatching, Dan. Definitely over the next few days. I have had to watch it, but you know, I have to watch. I have to like the good stuff. I have to like you know offset with like the really bad stuff, which is popular, just so I can like comment on shit. I was going to talk about Morbius tonight, but I'll probably leave that. It's getting on late. You know, Lauren's streaming in a minute, so and obviously Dan, you'll be on there as well, I'm sure. But Morbius, I'll probably talk about next week now. Morbius was actually, all I will say is Morbius was not as bad as what I was expecting. I won't go any more into detail than that. The whole point of the discussion I was going to say about Morbius was that, you know, it's kind of one of those, it's like when you're told over and over again for a period of time that a film's really, really shit. And then when you see the film and you think, wow, I was expecting to be really, really bad. And then you go with like I went with a closed mind, but the closed mind said that it was going to be really, really shit. So I was kind of like mildly surprised that it wasn't as bad as what I was expecting. So I actually quite enjoyed it. So I suppose that what I will probably do next week is probably go more into like the idea of like, you know, just getting browbeaten into believing that something's really, really shit or something's really, really good. It works on the opposite end of the spectrum. And going in with like this hive mind, I would say it's like a hive mind where it's like, you know, it's just hammered into you on a daily basis. This film is shit. This film is shit. Or this film was really, really good. This film was really, really good. And then you go in and you go, my God, that was totally the opposite of what I was expecting. Morbius kind of does that for me. And I'll say I'll probably will go into this. I'm going to cut off any minute now, but I will say that, Morbius did surprise me. I was expecting to hate it, and you know what? It wasn't that bad. I really quite enjoyed it. I'll just wrap things up now. A couple more comments. Ben says, same, I didn't hate Morbius. I won't buy it, but I didn't hate watching it. Yeah, that kind of sums up my opinion, really. Big T, Morbius was an okay watch. I think Sony needs to cut the bullshit with their own cinematic universe. Leave it to Marvel and just do its own standalone movies and just surround it around Venom. Yeah, it's so convoluted now. The whole Marvel Sony interaction and the way they're merging these characters. It's so, if you're not like a hardcore comic book fan, which I'm not, I'm just left a bit confused. I'm really, really confused by it. Dan says, what was my friend admitted he wasn't very good, yet went to see it twice. Well, maybe he liked it more than he said. Big T, Bunny says Big T 100%. Dan says more standalone would be nice. It would be. Right, I'm going to wrap things up now, guys. I've been going for nearly 15 minutes. It was going to be a short stream. I'm going to jump on launch. Not jump on. I'm going to watch launch stream. Sorry. Just going to go through the chat. Who's jumped on? Big T, Dan, obviously, Bunny, Ben, Jamie, Chris, obviously, /home video. Thanks for jumping on. Anthony, thanks for jumping on, man. Griff, thank you for jumping on. I always miss somebody. In the chat. So I'm determined not to do that tonight. DJ's usually there at the beginning. Okay. I think I've got everybody. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I've got... And Lorne. I nearly forgot Lorne. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I'm going to go now, guys. I will see you next Tuesday at the same time. Longest stream next week, guys. This is obviously a short stream, so I don't clash the streams. But yeah, next week, hopefully, going to be a longer stream, like a good 2-hour one. Lots to cover. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.